Today I'm gonna go through 6 colonies for my first inspection of the year. Spoiler alert, it did not go like I expected it to at all. This frame's pretty much empty. I would guess this hive is queenless, just because of how small it is, and it was bigger earlier in the winter, and they didn't eat any pollen patty. And I stand corrected. Here's the queen. I don't see any eggs yet. There's a bunch of dead bees on the bottom board, unfortunately. No eggs, but there is a queen. So I'm not really sure what to make of this hive. She should be laying. I suppose that it's possible she is like not able to lay, like there's something wrong with her. Now I can't even see her. I don't know where she went. Honestly, this hive isn't even worth equalizing. It's just kind of a lost cause. I'll come back in a few weeks and look at them, but I don't know. I just don't really think it's even worth any time. There's just so little going on that I'm gonna close them up, and I don't really think there's anything I can do with them, unfortunately. There's probably something wrong with this queen, I would guess, and that's why there's no eggs or pretty much anything going on. So they've had this patty for 8 days. And they've barely eaten it, really. Not a whole lot. So I'm pretty surprised, really, because they are a really large colony, I think, and I'm assuming they're queen right if they're this large. So we'll see what's going on with that. Oh, great, there's a mouse nest back here. Nice. Not ideal. I have no idea why the bees didn't kick the mouse out. That's weird to me. They completely destroyed this side of the frame. But I'll chuck that mouse nest out of here. Anyways, I'm super excited. I mean, that first hive was disappointing, but overall I'm very excited for this yard, and I think this will be a really strong hive. A little bit of mouse damage, nothing crazy. Then, great. This is why you shouldn't use wooden mouse guards. And it's nothing that's really cost me in the past, but I'm never doing that again. They have to have some kind of metal or hardware cloth, otherwise this will happen. No brood yet. We got nectar, pollen. Don't see a queen. This frame is really, really light, but it's got eggs and it's got larvae. So they probably have around 4 frames of brood, I would guess, or 3, something like that. They're not full frames though, which is weird to me because there's a lot of bees in here. She's laying them up, but she's not laying this bottom section of the frame. There's no eggs or larvae or just nothing on that section of the hive. I see more eggs though, so she's definitely around here somewhere. Yep, more brood. Need to clean off their bottom board because it is a mess because of my mice mistakes. I think last year was a bumper crop for mice. There's a lot of mice in this yard. Some more eggs, and they're nice and healthy. There's not multiple. I don't see any issues. And here's the queen. Corey Stevens, Mite Hunter Queen. I am a little disappointed with this hive because I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you see this as normal. But normally my bees will lay even in early spring all the way to the bottom of the frame and not just this top circle. So I'm not really sure why they did that. But let me know in the comments if you think that that's normal or that you see it often. Personally, that's just not something I'm used to. It could be something to do with the fact that we got a ton of snow. We had 6 to 7 inches of snow last week. So they might have pulled back some of their brood. I definitely am going to keep the pollen patty because they barely have any pollen in this hive. So they're going to need it. All right. So I'm going to make sure the queen's in the box. And I thought I was going to equalize and pull brood out of this hive, but really that doesn't make any sense. They don't really have that much brood. Just like 3 or 4 half frames of brood. So kind of disappointed, but you know, it'll be better next time. Crack this box off, and my guess would be that all the hives just took on a bunch of mice, and that is completely and 100% my fault. So sorry about that, bees. That's my fault. I should have been a better beekeeper and gotten you a wooden mouse guard. But every year in beekeeping is a lesson, and even though it hasn't cost me in the past, I certainly learned my lesson this winter, and will definitely never, ever allow a hive to go into fall without either hardware cloth or a metal mouse guard, because any less than that is no good. I think they might be queenless. I don't know, just a guess from last time. They ate a fair amount of patty though, same amount as the last hive, so you know, from that factor alone, it decreases the chance that they're actually queenless. The more patty a colony eats, the better chance that they're, you know, queen right. So, wow. Fresh nectar today. Huh. Who would have thunk it? Today is April 8th. The solar eclipse is going to happen in about an hour. All right. I don't see any eggs. No eggs yet. Kind of a funky smell in here. Wonder if there's a dead mouse. There's a dead mouse in the last hive, and a live mouse. I was wrong, this hive is not queenless. Capped brood, eggs. A little bit of a funky pattern, but that might just be this frame. There's, I'd say at least 2 different types of pollen coming in today. Maybe even 3 or 4. I don't have a great idea of what it'd be. No pun intended there. What a great idea of what it would be, but probably some crocus, and then I'm not really sure what else. Let me know in the comments what kind of pollen you see early in your place. All right, so here's our queen. This frame is full of eggs, and we got little capped brood here at the top. So I missed her. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is, right in the middle. Right here. I want to set her off to the side. I wouldn't do this if there was any wind because it's only 60 degrees, but I'm going to be in and out really quick. So kind of disappointing. I was maybe had too high of expectations for this hive, because that frame is 100% full of honey. So there's a lot of bees in here, not a whole lot of brood. So I'm probably just jumping the gun. Curious to see if this shakes out. Whoa, that's not good. Yeah, so don't do that. I should have shaken it away from the hive because it's a cold day, so that's not a good idea. But this hive only has about 2, maybe 3 frames of brood. So I thought I was going to equalize out of this hive, but they're just a normal size colony. Probably around 2 frames of brood. My guess is that I just kind of jumped the gun, and I thought, like in general, that we were farther ahead in our season than we actually are. And so even though the populations are pretty high in these colonies, it's been too cold for them to do much. Bees are happy about it too. Alrighty. I think I see eggs, capped brood, pollen, all right in there. Here's a capped brood. Yep, capped brood. This hive does seem pretty light on stores. All right, I don't see a queen. There's definitely eggs and larvae. Yeah, I don't see anything really out of the ordinary. Yep. Full eggs. All right, thankfully we got some honey right here. And more honey here. And one more frame of honey. I'm going to move one of these frames of honey to the opposite side to give the bees some more food contact. And get out of their hair. This hive's decent size as well. Nothing massive, but nothing small either. Good chunk of that. It's been 8 days, so nothing crazy, but nothing either. Fresh nectar in this comb. You can tell it was made in August and early September when the goldenrod was blooming last year. It's really bright yellow. But I'd guess these hives have similar amounts of brood to the last couple. Don't know if the camera will be able to see this because of my shadow, but there's some green pollen right here. And put it in the comments what you think it is. I think it's a Norwood maple. All right, so first impressions is the first 2 frames are incredibly light. So that's a little bit worrying. But this side is full of eggs. And this side has eggs, larvae, and capped brood. And no queen as of yet. Frame has capped brood. Not a whole lot else going on. I'd be pretty shocked if that's all the brood they had, but it might be. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of bees in this hive, but they don't break the brood nest. Like if there's brood on the outside frame, there has to be brood here, or there's not going to be brood on the inside frame. That's just not how bees heat. Yeah, huh. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Or I've seen colonies this small, but it's just I think it's something with me and not the bees, because all the colonies have way less brood than I was expecting. So that's not a bee problem, that's a beekeeper expectation problem. But there seems to be space for them to expand here into the middle of the box, and I think I'm going to rearrange a little bit to give them some honey frames on the opposite side. But they look healthy, it's just they don't seem to be brooding out really quickly. They're queen right though, so that's the important part really. I'm seeing a little robbing, so I'm gonna wrap this up real quick and close them up. So this comb kind of molded inside the hive. So I've had bees tear this out in the past when this happens, but hopefully they'll still use it. This is just nothing really. Honey. And then we got probably some more honey. This colony was tiny going into the fall. So the fact that it's this large is a miracle. They barely took any sugar syrup in the fall. All the other colonies were guzzling it down. And these hives were, or this hive was barely touching it. All right, that's pretty much all I need to see, really. We got brood, eggs, capped brood, larvae, and eggs all in here. I wish I'd videotaped when I made this colony, but it's the simplest way to make hives is when you have a queen cell when a queen dies, but you're lucky and the hive made a couple frames that had queen cells on them. And you just split up the queen cells and great things like this can happen. Full of brood. They built up from early July till now. And sometimes they're not the best queens and sometimes they're really nice queens like this one. Very calm. Her sister is over there, the meaner one from earlier. But this one obviously mated with some nicer drones because she is much, much calmer. This hive's a little smaller, but it's not like a massive difference in population. Oh, what do you know? Just the lady I was talking about. Right there. So, she's hot to trot if she's all the way over here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this hive. I'm a little worried because they're a little bit light on honey. Because this is empty, pretty much. It's got a little nectar in it, but it's pretty much empty. So I'm not sure. I'll have to keep an eye on this hive. Make sure they don't starve. But they have some honey over here. They should be okay.